All right, Shalom, Israel. Let's clap it up. Round of applause. All right. The I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. So, I might got to flip this around real quick. I think I might be jamming something up. All right, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Today we're going into just a little bit about being perfect. Okay, y'all see what's going on out there in the in the world today with Russia, with Ukraine, with Donald Trump, the whole election. But of course, they was pushing that election heavy because what was really going on over there in the Middle East with Ukraine and Russia and Iran, and you know, it's crazy, man. And China. So we're gonna go a little bit into today into how to be perfect. Okay, what it means to be perfect. Because now we're in a time where we should definitely make sure that we being perfect. Listen, every day, Officer Knock put out a post a while ago. It always stuck with me because he hit it. You know, he was right on point with this. He said every day is a new day to be better than you was yesterday. Like you have to be perfect, man. Like, or else how are we going to get the kingdom of heaven? Christ told us to be perfect. Let's get the scripture in Matthew, I believe. Oh, God. Where it says, be ye perfect. Okay. So TikTok, what's going on? This is the I.S.U.P.K scripture breakdown class, man. 12 children of Mahayaman is going to be here in a second. We just going to keep on teaching until the general gets here, all right? Let me know when you got it. It's 5 and 48.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48.
Con, you can grab the mic. Or the red one, either one. If you got to do the Shamar, either one is fine. It's up to you.
Come. Be ye therefore perfect.
What did Christ say?
Be ye therefore perfect.
Be you, or you be therefore perfect. You want to be perfect. Jesus Christ told us to be perfect. Christians do not bring this out. They more so say you cannot be perfect. That's what they say. But Christ told us to be perfect. Read it again.
Come. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect.
Even as the Most High is perfect. What does it mean to be perfect? It doesn't mean you're never going to trip and stumble over, your shoestring. That's not what it's saying. What it's saying is be perfect the way the Most High is perfect, man. Most High ain't no damn sinner. We don't want to be sinners, man. The law of the Bible tells you to be perfect. Give me Psalms. To be perfect is to keep God's law. Jesus Christ kept all the laws of the Lord, man. And he told us to do so. And in fact, because he kept the laws of the Lord, he increased the law of God, man. So that now, if you sin against the Lord, now you definitely a sinner now, because Christ not only gave you the blueprint on how to be perfect, but he also showed us step by step how terrible we were for not being perfect. He gave us a mirror, the kind of people we were being from not keeping God's laws. We weren't perfect. We were hypocrites. Don't be a hypocrite. Be perfect, man. Don't be a sinner. Be someone who keeps God's laws. You can keep every law in the Bible. It ain't hard, man. You can keep every single one. And if you don't, then it's going to show even more of how wicked you are now. And that's what Jesus Christ did. That's how he fulfilled the law. He fulfilled his assignment. He completed the test. He fulfilled he fulfilled the damn assignment, man. When you do a test and you complete the test, he completed the test. That don't mean that there is no more tests ever again in history. It's just once your test is complete, then you can, then you completed it. But Christ didn't do away with the law. Christ fulfilled the law. He fully did every part of that test. He kept every single law. And so do we. We got to keep the law too, which is why Christ said, be perfect. Go ahead.
Come. Psalms chapter 18, verse 30. As for God, his way is perfect.
As for the Lord, his way is perfect. Give me Psalms, when you done that, Psalms 37 and 37.
Come.
As for the Lord, his ways is perfect. He ain't no damn sinner. The Most High is the Most High righteous God, the terrible power that you don't want to see the wrong. Listen, we see in the wrong side of the Lord right now. We hear in America, hear it in Venezuela, and in the Ukraine and Canada, under all the way on the bottom of society, under everybody else, under every other race. Kanye West said those slave ships was real, bro. Yeah, they were. Our identity was stolen from us. Now you got somebody known as the Jewish man, the small hat. I don't even, that's just crazy. My shirt is greenish. He's a greenish person. What he's trying to say is he's like a black and Hispanic person, or he's like a Native American Indian person. He's just not a black person. He's just not a Native American Indian person. He's not a Hispanic person. He is not a Jew. He is like, because he's trying to steal our culture. Give me Psalms 37 and 37.
Come. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 37. Mark the perfect man.
The Bible says, do what?
Mark the perfect man.
The Bible says mark, like how you mark something off. Take note of the perfect man. The man that is not a sinner. Go ahead.
Come. And behold the upright.
And behold the upright. Someone that's righteous, that's upright, which means they're keeping God's law. Someone that is righteous. They're upright. They ain't, how you would say crooked, right? They don't do bad business, right? Or they're not someone that is sneaky or a cutthroat. This person is upright. He's righteous, okay? The men and women that you see in the I.S.U.P.K, these brothers and sisters, we are perfecting uprightness, being perfect, being righteous in the U.P.K. And now is the time to get it right, man.
Right.
Now is the time to get it right. You can keep reading, my thumb, y'all.
Come. For the end of that man is peace.
For the end of that man is peace. The end of a upright man or upright woman, a righteous man or a righteous woman, a man or a sister that is not sinning. The end of that brother or that sister is peace, man. You can marry a headache quickly without even knowing it. It could be a brother or a sister. You a sister, you be married to that brother. He a straight up headache, nuisance, coming in drunk, fighting everybody, beating on every damn thing, and back and forth to jail or just always in something. It's terrible. You can marry a headache. Brothers, for sure you can marry a headache. So we ain't got to even explain that. But you want to notice someone who has not married a headache or has not gotten into terrible situations. You want to notice the person that's going to college to be a lawyer. When you did the college dropout, did the Kanye West, and got nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to notice the person that is not a thief, the person that's not going to sleep with your wife, or the woman that's not going to cheat on her husband. You want to take note of those type of people, because the end of that person is peace. And nothing, listen, it's nothing like a peace of mind. It is nothing like having a peace of mind. It's like you go to work all day, then you got to come home and fight again. Jim Mahayaman said, y'all brothers, y'all go home and immediately put the gloves on. He wasn't talking about us. He was talking about brothers in the world. He was making a joke to say how, sometimes you come home, you got to argue. He said, you come home to the rib, you got to come in the house, take off the work shirt, put the gloves on, so you can rumble, which is a joke, of course, right? But that's terrible. That's not peace. Now, if you keep God's law, then you will have peace, man. The Bible says He never seen the righteous forsaken. All right. Let's keep going. So the topic is being perfect, because now that Christ is returning, you know, we getting close to Christ returning. Man, you know, you want to be right. You want to be right. Give me where John, matter of fact, give me where John cussed out not John, John the Baptist, where he came at the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because they came to his baptism, and he looked at them like, are you serious? You, T.D. Jakes, you want to come now? Nah, T.D. Jakes, you ain't had no damn heart attack. Let me tell you what happened to you. You got scared. And if you did have a heart attack, it was because of all the damn evil you might have been doing, man. The Lord ain't playing. Who knows, you know, if he had it or he didn't have it, or the reasons why he had it. But for sure, you at them Diddy parties and you ain't leading nobody to righteousness. I don't, you know, ain't too much further, you know, for the thoughts to go, except for what you could have been doing. All right, give me where John the Baptist was speaking to the Pharisees.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3, and verse 7. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers.
He cussed them out. He said, "O generation of vipers." Go ahead.
Who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
He said, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Now, think about that for a second. Who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Meaning the wrath is coming, but who gave you the notice? Meaning you an evil monster. Like Christ said out his own mouth. Give me the precept. Jesus Christ don't want all y'all, you know, evil men. He ain't worried about all of y'all being saved, man. Christ said he prayed for them that the Father gave him. I'm paraphrasing. And he still went up on that cross and was unalived so that every single Israelite could be saved, man. Even though he wanted himself for the ones that was going to follow him. He said, that's what he's praying for. He said, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, man. Christ was not worried. Listen, come on, man. That Christianity is something so crazy. Y'all out there praying for the oppressor, and the oppressor is oppressing you. How in the hell? How you going to turn the other cheek while you're getting punched, now, Bob?
Right.
That's not what turn the other cheek is about. It's about forgiveness, but damn, how am I going to forgive while you're punching me in the face? I'm just be full of forgiveness, getting the ish beat out of me. That's the only thing that's going to happen, right? We all just supposed to get our ASS whooped because we loving and forgiving. Nah, man. Christ said this also. He said, if you ain't got no sword, sell your garment and go get a sword. Go get a gun. That's what Christ said. That was the weapon of their time, one of these. He said, go get you one. If you ain't got one, man, listen, y'all better not listen to these pastors, man. These pastors, they will lead you astray. And that's why John said this. Read it again.
This book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 7. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
Who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come? That's how he was saying. Who the hell told you to be at this party? Who invited you? And that was the vibe, because that was the spirit, because why would they even show up knowing all? They should have been the one baptizing. They should have been the one to have the people there showing them the way to repentance, giving them the way to Christ, man. But instead, they was behind every green tree eating pork, celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving like a damn sinner. You can't celebrate these false holidays. How in the hell are you going to celebrate the Native American Indians being unalived and then say you thankful for it. And then gonna try to cover it up and say, oh no, it's just for the family. I'm not celebrating that. So wait a minute. You celebrating it on the same day that they are celebrating that and eating the same exact food and doing the same exact prayer, but it's not for that. It's for you and your family. It was for him and his family. Wasn't Thanksgiving for the white man's family? But it's for your family today, huh? It's so you can see Aunt Betty. No, it ain't. You celebrating Thanksgiving. If you're not, then don't do it. Do it today. Don't do it next week. Don't do it in a couple of days. Right. Matter of fact, do it 3 weeks from now. Right. How about that? Do it 3 weeks from now. That's cool, right? Celebrate it on Black Friday. Say, look, it's Black Friday. Come on, man. Come on over, family. Let's eat now. Because I don't want to take part in what they did to the Native American Indians and our Hispanic brothers and our Latino brothers, man. But that won't happen. You know why? Because they have to do it in their spirit. They have to do it on that day. You know why? Because they do not have what Christ had, and that was the ability to be perfect. They don't want to use it. They don't want that. What comes with being perfect is saying no to a lot of things and then saying yes to things that you want to say no to. You might not want to give a brother your last dollar. Give it to him. Might not want to. The Bible says this. Somebody convince you to go 1 mile, go twain, go 2. Might not want to walk that 2nd mile, Abba, but go 2. Right. That's what it was talking about. Read it again.
But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
He said, who told you to flee from the wrath to come? T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen. Who in the hell warned you to come here? Nah, we ain't going for that. Nah, it's cool. You can go somewhere else. Because shouldn't you be leading the people to Christ? The Bible also said this. They took the power from the wise and the prudent and gave it unto babes, man. Gave it unto babes, gave it unto men that you would consider to be a baby. T.D. Jakes will look at me and say, oh, that's a baby. What do he know? And I will, man, listen. T.D. Jakes will get smoked in scriptures, man. He will get smoked in scriptures, man. I appreciate my brother Yediah for the gracious donation. No, I'm messing with the brother. Man, listen, a trooper in here can smoke T.D. Jakes in the scriptures, man. We ain't doing that. Don't you flee. Don't flee now that you see the Ukraine and Russia going at it. When the Israelites, what happened to the cult? Ain't we in a cult? What happened to the cult? What happened to the we shouldn't have multiple wives? What happened with that? Now you want to listen to us? Nah. No, don't do it now. Stick with Allah. Stick with Buddha. See if he gets you out the damn situation. Shalom. What's going on? Shabbat. Stick with that false god you had, man. Now listen, y'all. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Of course, we want all our brothers and sisters to be saved, man. Like that's the difference between us and these pastors. These pastors say it, they don't do it. They say it so you can give them the money. They don't show you how to repent. They don't show you how to be perfect. They saying these things so you can pay them the perfect amount of money, not so you can have the perfect spirit on and be perfect, so you can be delivered by Christ in the end. In these last days, you can be delivered by that black man who the world knows as Jesus Christ. No. They want the perfect amount of money in their bank account, so they are selling you short. They ain't giving you the real deal. So I listen, like John the Baptist said, who told you to flee? All right, can we get John 3:1 to down to 3, I believe?
Okay.
We was in John 3 and 7. I want to go to verse 1. And I want to read down to, I believe, 3.
Okay.
And everybody, just so y'all know, I.S.U.P.K, we always have precept books. So when y'all watch the general's class, man, get your precept book out, take notes. You know, make sure you write down the topic, write down the scripture that he put, you know, Matthew such and such under this topic, and you go home and you study so you can be prepared, man. When Satan come at you, you already know, damn, I read something about, you know, having to have discipline. I read something about having to battle the family in the world because they coming against me because now I watch the people in the cult. Silly, man. Or they trying to take your kids, or they trying to, you know, do something to you because now you chose a better lifestyle. So make sure y'all take notes, all right? Make sure you write down the topic that, you know, that the teacher is teaching on and the scripture with it so that you always have it. All right, let's go to John 3 and 1. Let's go back up to verse 1.
Okay. This is the book of John, 3, verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art.
Wait, he said unto him what?
Rabbi.
He said what?
Rabbi.
He called Christ rabbi. I thought he was a Pharisee. Wasn't he a rabbi? But you notice he came by night. He came at nighttime. And then called Christ rabbi, which means master. He said master. Go ahead.
We know that thou art a teacher come from God.
Wait a minute. So the Pharisees knew that Christ was from God? That Christ was a man of the Lord? That's what I meant by from God? Of course, the Lord sent Christ down, but he was a physical man and not God, the way people think Jesus was God, like a silly man. But he said, thou art a man from God. You say, we know this. Go ahead.
My good sir, we're so heavy about this verse. There's two things. He said we, which means him and not only all of the Pharisees know, and what you break it down so heavy about, like the Christians thinking they would follow Christ. People knew who Christ was when he walked the earth.
Right.
They knew exactly who he was.
Yep.
They knew who his father was, you know what I mean, and Joseph. They knew that the Most High sent him and saw all the miracles and still chose not to follow him.
YAHUWAH.
On the bar, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Take it out your way, bro.
No problem. Take your time, man. Take your time. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Good to go?
I'm happy with this.
Okay, please.
So,
What's your coffee up here? Yes. Good to go, Akim and Agwafian. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to offer you tonight. I'm going to solve all of your problems, answer all of your questions, present to you the path that you should walk down. Now, that's all I can do for you. At the end of that, you'll have a decision to make. Everyone understands, all right? I'm ready whenever you are. I'll take your questions in the room and online. Próximo preguntas.
So, like I said, this is from Precinct Officer 1. He says, Locking about faith. Can I get a breakdown of Matthew 5 and 22?
Of course you can, Warrior.
And Matthew 5, it's like Matthew 25 and 40 goes.
Of course you can. No problem. You go ahead and read it for him, all right?
Okay.
Am I good with this mic? It's lagging a little taste. I can leave it like that, Maran?
Yes, sir. So you can take it off the wireless, however you want to do it.
Okay, if it helps, let me know. I'll leave it there if it helps.
Oh, God. So I believe just give it mic, you can push it back.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can push it back. All right. Solid. Please let me answer the question for the brother if it's all right.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew 5, verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
You want to go up one verse above it, all right?
Okay. Verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill.
Meaning of you have heard that it was said of them of old time. What is old time? Old time is the New Testament. Right now, here we are, we're teaching from the Old and the New Testament. But as you could imagine, during the time of Christ, the New Testament had not been written yet. So Jesus Christ taught from the Old Testament alone. Everyone understands, right? So he knows that you've heard in the Old Testament that it was said that whosoever killeth shall be in danger of being brought to the council. Meaning, just like today under Commanding General YAHANNA, we have a court system, a system of justice in the Israelite school of UPK. The disciples of Christ did. And of course, the leaders of Israel always have had a system of justice. If you unalive someone in the past, you were brought to that council and you had to answer for why you unalived that person. Maybe it was self-defense. Maybe you had a justifiable reason to commit that unaliving. But you'll be brought to the council, and if you were not justified, then you would be unalived. Everyone understands? That's what the disciples knew. Everyone knew. So Jesus Christ is using that to teach about how he has increased the law. He's made the law more stringent, more strict. This is how he did it. It was said a long time ago that you would go to court if you unalive somebody. But I'm telling you this. Read.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. But I say unto you.
But I what?
But I say unto you.
But Christ is telling you something that you didn't know about the Most High God. But I say unto you, gracias. But I say unto you, go ahead.
That whosoever is angry with his brother.
That whosoever is angry with his brother, go ahead.
Without a cause.
Angry, what? Say that again.
Without a cause.
Say that one more time.
Without a cause.
Christ increased the law of brotherhood. He increased the law. Christians say that Christ did away with the law. That's what your grandmommy and your aunties and your baby's mama say. They say the law is done away with. Jesus Christ made the law more strict, more ardent in its application. Now, you're not just going to be judged for unaliving someone. You are going to be judged for even being angry with your brother without a cause. Right. You are not allowed to be angry with your brother without a cause. To Christ, it's the same judgment as if you murdered someone in the Old Testament. Right. The judgment that would happen for murder in the Old Testament, Christ is applying that judgment to being angry for no reason with another brother. So what does that mean to you? Are you allowed to be angry with a brother? Absolutely. There's a righteous reason to be angry. The brother slept with your woman. You're righteously angry with him. Bring him to the council. He slept with your woman. The brother robbed you or cheated you in a business deal, you believe. Bring him to the council, man. You're angry for good cause. But to be angry with another brother for something that is not a crime, for something that is nothing at all that's unlawful, you're the murderer. You. Everyone understands. That's unlawful. It's like that trader that recently left the school. I talked to brothers about this Thursday. It's this brother that left the school Thursday. I was telling the brothers in New York about this cat is angry with brothers in the school for nothing, for doing absolutely nothing at all, for doing nothing to him, for doing nothing to anyone else. It's murder in the old time. Everyone understands. That is how strict you have to be about brotherhood. That's how important it has to be to you. You have to modify and discipline even your thoughts. Even your thoughts. In the Old Testament, they just made sure they didn't unalive anyone. They made sure they never let their anger grow to the point that they unalive someone. Jesus Christ is not so soft in his application of the law. If you're even angry with a man and you have no just cause, then you better modify your thoughts, Ak. You better discipline your thoughts. Everyone understands. Gracias. Next. It was another one he wanted, right?
25 or 40.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, and verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it
You better read, I think, 2 verses above this, Dan. What's the name of the brother who asked the question again? Colon? Hawan. Got you. Officer Hawan, I believe, right? All right, Hawan. Read 2 verses above it. I'll explain.
Okay, this book of Matthew, 25, verse 38. When saw we thee a stranger?
So this is Jesus Christ, right? And he's saying that these people are going to receive a great reward because when he was a stranger, they took him in, they housed him. When he was hungry, they fed him. When he was, when he was in prison, they went to see him. And so the people are saying in this parable, well, when did we see you a stranger? When did we see you hungry? When did we help you? And this is the response of Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
And took thee in.
Skip down. I already explained that part. Skip down to after I explained. All right. Go ahead.
Or when saw we thee sick?
Go ahead.
Or in prison? And came
You can skip down. I already broke that part down. So just skip down to after that. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, and so much as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren. And so much as you have done it unto one of these, the least of my brethren. Why is he saying these? Because he's pointing at his disciples, man. And this is a very pivotal scripture because it's one of those scriptures where Jesus Christ is explaining what life is going to be like after he leaves to the disciples. He's telling them about the rough road they're going to have to walk. The kind of strength they're going to have, the kind of courage that is going to be required for them to carry on after he leaves. And he begins to warn them about people who will be their enemies. And he begins to let them know that the people that help you, God will help. The people that go see you when you're in prison, because some of you are going to prison. The people that feed you when you're hungry, because some of you will be hungry for the work of Christ. Some of you will be strangers in a faraway land. The people that help you have helped me. That was their reward. That was something that they learned that encouraged them to carry on in the rough times. They knew, okay, well, I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to be a stranger in this foreign place because I'm there to teach. I'm there to spread the gospel of Christ. But the people that help me when I'm there, Christ is going to help them. Christ is going to give them a reward as if they helped him, if they helped me. Everyone understands? Go ahead. Good job. I'm clapping for the brother. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ye have done it unto me.
You get that? Go ahead.
That
was that his question?
That was the question.
Okay, well, that's your answer. Gracias. Próximo.
This is from Officer Balam. It says, if I may, out of line, can I get a breakdown of Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 24? And can this be used for John 3:16?
Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 24. Please, let's read it. What's the brother's name again? Balam. For what? What does that mean? Like he hates Baal or he's against Baal? Balam. That's a good one. Sounds like it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 24. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the Father's raven, and thy majesty upon the diadem.
I gotta read it. Where are we at?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 24.
Okay, one stand by. Wisdom of Solomon, 18. Wisdom of Solomon, 18 and 24. All right, stand by. Please.
Maybe go up to maybe 17 or 19 maybe to start.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, 17 you said?
I think 17.
All right, go ahead. 17, please. Up.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 17. Then suddenly, visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for.
You get that, right? Everybody understands that. Keep going.
Verse 18. And one thrown here and another there.
I might need more. I might get enough context from that. Hold on. One second. Okay, right here, like 5. What is this about? What is this story about? Where should I start? Okay, I got you. Okay, this story is about the night that the Most High God sent the angel of death to unalive the enemies of the Israelites in ancient Egypt. That same night, he decided to save our lives. So the enemy, our oppressor, was crying because his children were unalived. We were in our homes terrified that we would ever become like the people outside of that door. Thankful that the Most High God had chosen to have mercy on the people within the door. So that's the night that we left Egypt. That night right before the Exodus. We're all in the houses. We're eating the Passover bread. We're eating the lamb. There's blood above every door. Who is following Moses? They hear the screams outside as people find out that their children are gone. We're inside knowing that we have to eat fast because tomorrow is the Exodus. That's the mindset that we should be in today. That's how you should live your life today, in great fear and with the realization that you live within and under his mercy. And you never want to be like the people outside this door. You don't want that. So that's the context. Everybody gets it now, right? So now that you know that, that's the context. So now I believe, go down to 17. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, 18 verse 17. Then suddenly, visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore.
So this is speaking about the Egyptians, the people who were not in the houses that followed Moses. They're having nightmares that night. Imagine what a night that was. How great was our salvation. Our oppressor who had lived in such delight, who had lived so rich. Imagine men like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and these rich people that exist today and rule this planet today. Imagine what their days and nights are like. Constant orgies all night, drugs and orgies all night. During the day out, they fly off to this place for lunch and fly to another place for dinner. That's their entire life. Meanwhile, they hate Mexicans because Mexicans would dare to leave a beautiful homeland to come and work here in America to have a better life for their sons and daughters, for their husbands and wives. They hate the poor, and hate the poor especially for trying to have a little happiness in a world where rich men get happiness so much. They have so much. And they're angry at Hispanics for being willing to sacrifice and leave their homeland for the hope of a little bit of what rich men get every day. How evil are they? How cruel are they? They were like that in Egypt too. Oh, but on this night, there was retribution. On this night, God made the rich feel what the poor feel every day. This night, they had nightmares. Now read 17.
Oh God. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 17. Then suddenly, visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore.
They're in some rich house in Egypt, but they're tossing and turning in their beds. That's what happened the night before the Exodus out of Egypt. The same thing is coming to America. The same punishment is coming to America. They're in their beds and they're tossing and they're turning because they're having nightmares. Continue.
And terrors came upon them unlooked for.
Terrors that they weren't looking for. Remember, they are rich people. They don't follow Moses and that crazy cult out of Goshen. They don't follow him. They're rich and powerful. They follow Pharaoh. That's who they believe in. They weren't looking for these terrors. They have no reason to have nightmares. That's what that sentence is trying to illustrate. terrors that they were not looking for. Meaning, if you have a nightmare about being on the run, you know where that came up when you wake up. It's about child support. It's about child support running you down. It's about your warrant. It's about your rent that's due. In 30 days, are you going to be evicted? See, when you have a stressful dream, you know where it comes from. Your stress that you have every day. But the rich, men like Elon Musk and what's that bald-headed tough guy on the internet, Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, if they have a nightmare, they go, where did that come from? That wasn't about Paris or France or buying a company and firing everyone and destroying unions. That wasn't about that. Where did that nightmare come from? That's what happened in Egypt before the Exodus. Rich men had nightmares that they were not prepared for and they didn't know where they came from. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And one throne here and another there.
One throne here and another there. What is that called while you sleep? It's tossing and turning. You're thrown. You're in the bed like, oh my God, I'm having a terrible nightmare. Rich men don't understand where that comes from. Oh, give it up to Officer Bud. He's rocking it out with the young man. What's the young man's name again? Kaparium. Give it up for young Kaparium. Getting it on. Well done. Good to see you, Art. Good to see you, brother. Well, that night in Egypt, brother, rich men felt a little bit of what the poor feel every day. Terror, fear, stress. The stress is so bad, they're being tossed back and forth because they're in the bed, tossing and turning. Go ahead.
Half dead shewed the cause of his death.
Half dead showed the cause of his death. They're half dead already, and they see the cause of their death. So what did they see? Half dead showed the cause of their death. I'm going to keep reading because it's beautiful in my sight. Just keep going. Remember, they were half dead during this nightmare, and they were shown the cause of their death. That's what you need. Keep going.
Verse 19. For the dreams that troubled them did foreshew this, lest they should perish and not know why they were afflicted.
For the dreams that they had foreshown, meaning it showed them this, or else they would die and not know why they died. Do you understand? The Most High wanted them to understand what was about to happen to them and why it was going to happen to them. This is coming to America, Spain, Great Britain, Germany, Japan, the same thing. All of the rich of this world, the people you're listening out there, you're living so great. They said that when Donald Trump, brother, won the White House, everyone's 401k went up. I think they made like the richest 1% in this country made $10 billion immediately when he won. The minute it was announced that he won, the richest people in America made $10 billion. Look it up. See, people like that don't understand the future because the future is not for the rich. The future is for the poor. The future is for the lost. The future is for those of us that have found a way to make it here with nothing. We've had to band together and love each other because times have been so hard, and love is the only thing that we can give freely. That's all we have. That's the only thing. Somebody wants money. Somebody calls you and says, I'm being evicted. I need $2,000 by tomorrow. You love this person and you cannot help them. I need a place to stay. Can I live with you? Brother, I'm living on somebody's couch. You love this man and you cannot help him. You love these children. You have children that need things, that need clothing and need shoes. You love your children and you cannot give them the shoes and the clothing that they need. Love is the only thing that you can freely give when you're poor. That's all we've had. And we've used it, brother, to the best of our ability. I pray you understand. We've done a lot with love, but the rich, they have money. So they don't think they need love because they're rich. Well, this night, they needed some love this night, and there was none. The Most High God gave them nightmares. During the nightmare, God showed them why they were going to die, because he didn't want them to die without knowing the cause. Please keep going.
Verse 20. Yea, the tasting of death touched the righteous also, and there was a destruction of the multitude in the wilderness.
The tasting of death touched the righteous also. What did I tell you earlier? Those of us who followed Moses, we were in the house hearing the screams, hearing what was happening outside the door, getting scared because we go, oh man, listen to the screams outside. It's a terrible thing. We were horrified because we heard what happens to the disobedient to God. We heard. Continue.
But the wrath endured not long.
But it didn't take a long time. This was a bad night. It was a terrible night, but it didn't last long. Go ahead.
Verse 21. For then the blameless man made haste.
For then the what?
The blameless man made
For
haste.
then the pain and the suffering went on for a little while, but it didn't last long. Then the blameless man hurried up. That's what made haste means. He hurried up. Go ahead.
And stood forth.
He stood up. Go ahead.
To defend them.
To do what?
Defend them.
To defend them. Keep going.
And bring the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer, and the propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end.
This is speaking about Moses, when Moses went out before the temple and he had the incense burners in his hand and he stopped the Most High from killing all of Israel because the Most High God was angry with Israel. Everyone understands. I believe, was that his question? How far do we have to go down for his question?
I think the question was in verse 24.
Where are we at now?
We're in verse 21.
So, okay, so we're reading all about how, the righteous saved Israel. We're reading about Exodus. We're reading about Moses delivering the Israelites from the Most High's anger with the incense burner. You can read about that in the Old Testament. Keep going.
Declaring that he was thy servant.
I'll skip down to, let me go straight to the point now for time's sake. Go ahead.
Verse 24. For in the long garment was the whole world.
For in the long garment it was the whole world. It's speaking about the long garment of Moses. Moses wore a long garment. So this is a metaphor for the kind of power that Moses had, the position that he had with God, which gave him a great position among the people. It meant that he was going to be the savior of the children of God. He had a great position with God, which meant he had a responsibility to the people. Go ahead.
And in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the Father's great.
In the 4 rows of the stones, what is that speaking about? That's speaking about the breastplate that Moses wore. The 4 rows, it was 3 stones, 4 rows, 12 stones. And he wore a breastplate. Each one of the stones on his breastplate represented each one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Each one of the 12 tribes of Israel has a stone. I do not recall the other stones, but I do know that the stone of the tribe of Judah is the sardonyx stone. That one I remember because I'm from the tribe of Judah. But each tribe has their own stone. It's in the Bible, and we put it on our calendars and on our websites and on social media. Go ahead.
Oh God. And thy majesty upon the diadem of his head.
The diadem of his head is talking about his headpiece. A diadem is like a crown. So imagine his mitre. That's his diadem, the big headpiece that he would wear, like the ones that we wear today called a mitre. They wrap upon our heads. That's what a diadem is. It's where a crown comes from today. A headpiece that's open in the middle and it's glorious. Meaning what? Is there more? Or can I break it down for him? Here's the point. Moses is the one that led us out of Egypt when the Most High unalived our oppressors. Moses is the one that came out with the incense when the Most High was unaliving all of Israel for our rebellion against Moses. Moses still took incense and presented it before the Lord to show the Most High God that Israel is worth saving. Please, Lord, stop. He stood in front of us, stopping the angel of death from destroying all of us, although we deserved it. But he still saved our lives. There's power in that garment. That's the point. There's power under that headpiece. That's why It's a dangerous thing to rebel against Commanding General YAHANNA for the same reason. It's a dangerous thing because there's power under that headpiece. There's power in that garment. That's the person at this time that the Most High God has chosen to save our lives. The Most High God regards him, and he understands that he has a very, very heavy burden to carry. That's the point. Everybody understands. All right. Jesus Christ, of course, is who Commanding General YAHANNA reports to. And that's a heavy thing to carry. That's a rough person to serve. I pray you understand. All right. You get the part about the dreams. The people in Egypt died from nightmares. From nightmares. They had terrible nightmares. And in the nightmare, they were told, you're dying because Pharaoh has hardened his heart against the children of Israel. You're dying because Pharaoh has no mercy on the poor in Egypt. And then they died. Everyone understands. All right, good to go. Any questions? Preguntas, please, Officer Abun.
A couple questions, sir. Firstly, I haven't eaten, of course, I'm asking you, steak tartare lawful?
Okay, steak tartare is not lawful. Steak tartare is not lawful because it's full of blood. You get my point. Now, you can cook steak. Steak is one of those things where you can cook it very little to make it lawful. You can cook steak very little to get the blood out. Some things you have to cook a lot to get the blood out, like chicken. You got to cook that a lot more than you have to cook steak. You get my point. But steak tartare, because it's just simply raw steak, is like that raw pottage that Esau ate. Esau, when he came in from the fields hunting, Jacob was cooking a stew, but he had not yet put any heat on that stew. Esau said, give me that same red pottage. That's what steak tartare. For those of you that don't know, steak tartare is chopped steak that white people just eat just like that. Just put it in their mouth and get to eating. Okay? That's red pottage. That's the meat. It's totally red. You haven't cooked it. Esau and Jacob said, listen, I haven't cooked it yet. He said, give it to me now. I want it right now. You can't wait. You can't wait to cook the steak. Damn, you ain't got to cook it forever. Cook it to a nice medium rare if that's what you want. Cook it let some heat hit it. Run it by the kitchen. Do something to the steak, but not you. You got to have it now. You get my point? That's unlawful. Please.
Follow, sir, would that be the same case for fish then as well, or is it different?
It is not the same case for fish. Fish does not need to be cooked at all to get the blood out of fish. Fish don't, the veins of a fish do not run through its muscle. Right? It's not in its muscle at all. The veins of a fish are under the muscle. When you gut a fish, you take the guts out, the veins are there. There are no veins in fish. Sushi is lawful. You could eat a fish totally raw if that's what you're into. Should you do it around Commanding General YAHANNA? No. You should not order that around Commanding. Order whatever he orders. Whatever. What you having, sir? Red snapper? Me too. Do not eat sushi around Commanding General YAHANNA. Now, if you're home, do your thing. Okay, go ahead and eat some shit. He won't mind, but don't bring it on his table, all right? But it is lawful. Everyone understands. Go ahead, please, Abun.
One more, sir, on 2 Corinthians 2:15-16, specifically savor of death and then savor of life. What does that mean?
You got to read it for me, please.
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15. For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ.
The word say. I'm sorry. Read it again.
For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ.
For we are unto God a sweet savor. The word savor is smell, right? So the Most High regards us like a sweet smell of. You said of Christ, correct? Where is this at?
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15.
Yeah. So the metaphor is like we smell like Christ to the Most High God, and it's sweet. We remind him of Christ. You get my point? We remind him of Christ. We smell like Christ. That's how he likes us. That's the metaphor. It's like someone that, they smell, you might have grown up around your house and your mother cooked cookies. So when you walk into someone's house and you smell cookies, it makes you think of your mother. It makes you think of your grandmother. You smell baking bread. It gives you a pleasant feeling because it reminds you of someone. Well, your behavior, the way we treat each other, our adherence to the law of God, it reminds the Most High of Christ. That's what this precept is about. You understand? Please.
In them that are saved.
And them that are what?
Saved.
Who are them that are saved? Those of us who have gotten the opportunity to come into this truth. What are we saved from? Going to jail for selling drugs? We're saved from that. Going to jail for unaliving some woman that we got in an argument with. Going to jail for bank robbery. Being a drug addict that lays outside on the street because we get high all day. Christians, in their ignorance, they think that the saved in the scriptures means you have a guarantee to get into heaven. That is not what this is speaking about. The saved are all of the people out here today that you see every day that are living terrible lives because of their behavior. Have you seen a crackhead in your life before? Right. Well, if you stay in the truth, you're saved from that. You won't lay on a street corner begging with a little sign saying, feed me, help me, because I'm homeless. You won't be him because you don't do drugs. Do you know, listen, I talk to people in the healthcare industry, brother. You would be so shocked to hear, Abun, about all of the people coming into the emergency room because of smoking weed. Smoking weed is a terrible thing. Smoking is a terrible, evil thing. And there are people coming in that emergency room, brother, getting this psychosis where they go nuts, where they get all these diseases. And I notice it's never on the news. But you can Google it and hear about all of the terrible cases. Well, you will never walk into an emergency room with marijuana psychosis or with some marijuana illness. You're saved from that. That's the point of it. Anything else?
And in them that perish.
And in what?
Them that perish.
In them, what? How do people die? Drugs, alcoholism, illicit sex, having a lifestyle of sin. You are saved from that because you don't live that lifestyle. Those things don't happen to you. You understand that? Please. Please.
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16. To the one we are the savor of death unto death, and to the other the savor of life unto life.
To the one we are what?
The savor of death unto death.
To one we are the savor, the smell of death. I'm sorry, I'm capping in the back.
I just want to add what you were saying about the camera. I looked at what you were saying, the disease that comes with it.
Oh, please break it down.
It's called cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome.
Cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. Brother, those emergency rooms are filled with people with that disorder. Filled with it. Having terrible reactions to smoking weed. That won't happen to them that are saved. You get my point? It won't happen to you. To one, you got one person that is what? Read that again. Let me give some young brothers some money. They're so well behaved in here, these kids. Let me give the young brother, say his name again, Kaparium. Take some money, Kaparium. You're so smart and well behaved. Give him a hand. Good job, Warrior. Well, give me a pound right here. Well done. Give me bang, bang, bang. Give him a hand. Let me give some money. I see some good girls in the back of the room. Come on up here, these two sisters right here in the back. They're being good. Give them some money around here, Marah. How much did I bring? I hope I brought enough. I might need your cash app in a minute. Hold on. Straighten that out to them. Let them break that down back there. The young brother was clapping earlier, too. Don't think I didn't notice that, sis. Give him some. Put this to the college fund. Give him some of this right here. Get a young brother, too. Get a young brother up front. One of y'all. Go ahead. Get a young brother a couple. Go ahead. All right, let's keep going. The rest of y'all too big now. Okay, come on now. I got to buy y'all a car. We can't do that tonight. All right, I'll see what I can do for you. I'll get your cash app. Go ahead.
To the one we are the savor of death unto death.
To the one we are the savor of death unto death. To the one we smell like death to the death. Keep going.
And to the other the savor of life unto life.
And to the other the savor of life unto life. Is there more? Go ahead.
And who is sufficient for these things?
And who is enough for these things? I can break this down for you. I'm just waiting to see when you're finished. Is there more?
That's it on that.
Let me explain this to you. Okay, listen carefully. I might need to do a how can I describe this? We need to do a project. Everyone close your eyes. All right? Close your eyes, everybody. Now, I want you to see someone who is a drug addict. I want you to see someone who is a thief. Okay, open your eyes. What do they look like? A bun.
Tattered, shovel.
What race are they? Just say whatever you saw. You saw him, right?
Yeah, they were black.
They were black, right? They were black. Now, you're black. You understand? Raise your hand if you did not see a black person. I can't raise mine either. Right now, how do you fix that? How is that possible? Because remember, every police officer, he has an imagination. What is he supposed to do? Every loan officer, when you go to get a loan and go to college, they have an imagination. Every supervisor and employee has an imagination, right? If your idea of yourself is a thief and a liar, a drug addict, someone that smokes cigarettes, someone that does drugs and smokes drugs, if that's your idea of that person, even though you are that person, how do you get rid of that? How do you stop it? There's only one answer: brainwashing. You have to get brainwashed. You have to do it. Police officers must get brainwashed. Supervisors, people that are in charge of college admissions, must get brainwashed. Because if you don't change your brain, if you don't clean it, you are going to end up in a path of death, even if you think you're not. It's going to happen to you. So, what if you are that thief? What if you are that drug addict? What if you are that person that smokes cigarettes? How will they look at the people trying to brainwash them, Abun? As a cult. They'll say, you're in a cult. Your religion is full of hate. Your religion is wrong. I love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving. You are in a cult and you preach hate. I hate your religion, even though my religion is the thing that cleans brains. To the people who are dead, I smell like death, because they know that if they come follow me, then they don't smoke cigarettes anymore. They don't smoke weed anymore. They don't do drugs anymore. They don't steal anymore. They don't lie anymore. Following me just smells like the end of the world. So because of that, you're in a cult. You're in a hate group. What are you doing in that group? Because we smell like death to the dead. But to the other ones, to the people who want to give up, there are some people out here, brothers, that want to give up cigarettes up. They want to give them up, man. They're tired of smoking. They're tired of smoking weed. They know it's destroying their life because they can't give up alcoholism and drug abuse. They know it's destroying their life. And they're going to see us, and we're going to smell like life. Do you understand? Those are the people who will wash their brains. And we'll wash them clean. I pray you understand. Oro por tu entendimiento. We will wash those brains. That's the point of one. It's the difference in people. And that's why that last phrase, read right after, smells like life to them that have life. Who shall what?
And who is sufficient for these things?
Who's good enough for this? Who's good enough to live? Who's good enough? Who actually can do this? Because there are people that are going to hate you because you're trying to heal them and you're trying to cure them. They're going to hate you because you're trying to brainwash them. But if we don't get brainwashed, you're going to see a picture of a drug addict, a thief in your mind, and it's going to be you. You're going to see a picture of yourself. Captain in the back.
I just want to say the wild, which is this now. It's the same thing. I definitely just thought of 2 people in my own family.
Give him a hand.
Like, I feel wrong. I feel wrong. But it's like, that's how diabolical our oppressor is with that, with like what you just said. When we at camp speaking, that's what, when we speak about a devil, the people that can't walk past us think about themselves and us. We the devil.
That's right.
People in the family.
That's correct. People look at us. That's right. Give him a hand. Well said. Well said. All right, you got it. Go ahead.
Come, sir. This is from Officer Malakia.
All right. I got to get this young brother up here some more money. Well, give me this brother right here. Now you're making me feel bad. Give me this brother right here. Give him some money. This young brother, how old are you up? 13. Come on and get some cash. Give him a hand. Put this to the college fund. All right, you got to give me your cash app here. Okay. Hugh, give me your cash app. Send me your cash app. All right, warrior. I'll straighten you out there. All right, go ahead.
Come, sir. He said, Shalom, Lord Christ, sir, Brother Bashar, allow me to humble myself and ask you this question. What are some ways mothers can deal with being overstimulated in the household?
Well, she might need to explain. Something happened up here. Live, I think I'm jamming you up here. It's restricted for saying terrible things. Yeah. Live is some subscribers. I'm not sure. I don't think it's all, but it could be wrong. Sister, just tell me, what does overstimulated mean? I might need to understand that. Okay, so Officer Malak, what?
Officer Malak asked.
Okay, Officer Malak asked the question. Well, Officer Malak, my apologies. What does overstimulated mean? Give me an example of what overstimulation is. I don't understand the term, all right? Go ahead.
This is from Alatazad. He said, Shalom, Lord Christ, Alawan. Can I get some understanding on Matthew 1:23 and Isaiah 7:14? Was Christ supposed to be named Emmanuel, and is YAHUSHA translated Joshua?
Was Christ supposed to be named Emmanuel? No, Christ is Emmanuel. He is Emmanuel, but it's not his name. It's not on his birth certificate, so you can understand, all right? It's not his name, but he is Emmanuel, okay? And what was the next one? What was the other one? You asked something before the Emmanuel one.
Oh, after that, sir, was is YAHUSHA translated to Joshua?
Is it? Yes. YAHUSHA in the properly spoken Hebrew that only the Israelite school of UPK understands well enough to teach. Joshua is YAHUSHA. It's the same name. It's the same name. Joshua, it's the English translation of YAHUSHA. Just like Jacob, I believe. Jacob is Jacob, right? YAHUSHA is Joshua. Good to go? I think that's his answer, right?
Come, sir. This is from Officer Sakun. He said, Shalom.
I got to break down that Emmanuel thing for me. Please, I'm sorry. YAHWAH. I apologize. YAHWAH. All right. Do I need something else to break down? It says live has been removed, brother. I don't know what happened there.
A follow-up question.
Go ahead.
A follow-up question the brother asked. Shalom, General, was Emmanuel a title?
Yes, there you go. Emmanuel is a title. The word Emmanuel means God with us, meaning a prophecy about Jesus Christ is that he would be called God with us. It's not his name. It is his title, meaning God sent him to us. God with us. God is with us. How do I know God is with us? Because he sent a savior to save our lives. Can I give you an exact example? You're in a burning building. The building is on fire. You think you're going to die. All of a sudden, a fireman kicks in the door. He picks you up and he scales you down a window to safety. When you get to the ground and you're safe from the fire of that house, you will say, thank you, God. Now, that's strange, though, because a fireman saved you. So why would you say thank you, God? Because you know God sent that fireman. That's Christ. Christ is not God, and a fireman is not God, and an ambulance worker is not God, and a doctor who can give you chemotherapy to cure your cancer is not God, and a husband who protects his wife from a burglar is not God. But he is the evidence that God sent him when he saves your life. That's why Jesus Christ is Emmanuel, God with us. Oro por tu entendimiento.
Followed up, sir. He said basically being stressed out to the burden of motherhood and being a wife, trying to balance with that work.
Overstimulated, though, doesn't seem like that's what he meant. Overstimulated? You better give me a little more. Give me an incident, brother. We don't know who this is. Just give me an incident like it's a John Doe. Or we don't know who this is. Give me the exact incident, or else you can ask me in private. Otherwise, I can't really answer the question unless I can understand it. All right. Anything else?
This is from Officer Sakan. He says, Shalom, sir, Lord of Christ. If you see fit, can I get a general breakdown of 2nd Ezra 13 and 8 and 13?
Please, no problem. I appreciate it. I got a question.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, so the 13th, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held.
Where are we at?
2nd Ezra, the 13th verse.
I need some context. I can't recall this. Anyone could give me some context about what this is about, or I got to read it for myself in a second. All right, where are we at?
2nd Ezra, the 13th verses 8 through 13.
2nd Ezra verses what?
Chapter 13 verses 8 through 13.
Chapter 13 verses 8 through 13, and that's his question is 8 through 13. Go ahead, please, Abban.
It's like, I believe it's talking about Christ. It says in 13 and 37, it says, and this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a precept about Jesus Christ in the book of the Apocrypha, or otherwise known as the Old Testament. That's absolute. Do I need to read the whole thing down, or can I just read a little bit of it? This is all about Christ. How about that? That's good enough for you. This entire thing is about, this is a prophecy about Christ in the Old Testament. That's what this is about. Okay, if there's something in more specificity, you got to let me know. Go ahead.
It's like, I did have a question on verse 9. It says he doesn't lift up his hand or his sword. Is that speaking about camp?
No, it's talking about Christ. It's talking about Christ. Christ said this when they came to arrest him. If this was my kingdom, my disciples would fight. Christ didn't fight when he could have. Knowest thou not that I could call 12 legions of angels from my Father which is in heaven, and he would protect me? Jesus Christ didn't have to get arrested. Do you understand? He let them arrest him. But if he wanted to, he could have unalived everyone there. His Father would have done it for him. But he didn't. Peter cut off the ear of one of the guards of the Pharisee. Christ said, "Get thou behind me, Satan," to Peter, and took the ear and picked it up and put it back on the man, because he didn't harm anyone. Jesus Christ did not harm people. That's not what he did. There's some people that think harming people, is a glorious thing. Like that idiot that left the truth last. I told the brothers about this before you came in, Abban. Some cat that left the truth out in God knows where somewhere, Texas, or I forget where. And anyway, he thinks harming people, is glorious. He thinks that's a glorious thing to do because he's so tough. Jesus Christ wasn't as tough as him. You understand? He could have been if he wanted to. If he wanted to, he could have called angels to unalive the Pharisee, the Sadducee, everyone that would not accept his supremacy. He could have unalived all of them, but he didn't. He wasn't such a tough guy. He wasn't like Joe Rogan, Jesus Christ. He wasn't like him. He wasn't so tough, which is what this precept is saying. He had power to hurt people, and he did not hurt people. You understand? Please, sister.
Can I help my husband out with the word overstimulated?
Please give her a hand. You ain't have to tell everybody, but I said, don't. I thought I said that. I said nobody will know. You don't have to tell anybody. But clearly, come on, it's all right. It's done now. What does overstimulation? Give it a microphone, please. Go ahead.
The best way that I can describe being overstimulated is like being mentally or physically, or feeling mentally or physically drained.
Okay, but how is that? How is drained stimulated? That's the part. It's like an opposite. So maybe stimulated is not the best way to describe it. Okay, so more so, you're talking about you. How many children do you have? We keep the microphone for a second, sis. How many children do you have? The ages?
13, 9, 5, and 1.
That's plenty, right? You got a 13-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 5, and a 1-year-old. You just had a baby. As you know from having children, when a woman just has a baby, your emotions are out of whack, I think, for 2 years. You know, I hear you. Right? So it takes a long time just for your body chemistry to get back to normal. And children are so, they need you. Do you understand? And so children don't allow you to take care of yourself. They're built like that, aren't they? Like when a baby is crying, he doesn't care that you are tired. Who cares? You're tired. I want milk. I want it now. I want it now. And children are like that for quite a long time until they can learn discipline. It's, of course, your job to teach them discipline and your husband's job. But so in essence, that's not overstimulated. You're stressed out. That's what I would use. That's the best way to understand that. You're stressed because you just had a baby who needs you. Your younger children need you. That 13-year-old, they ain't such a picnic either. I hear that, right? They can also be problems and need you and be issues. At that age, it's stress. So in essence, what you have to do, the way I would have worded it, right, to make me understand it better is, how does a young mother with plenty of children manage stress? That's I would have worded it like that. Just so your husband could understand it and other people could understand it. So this is what you have to do. What you have to do when you have a lot of stress is that you're going to need some help. I'll give you a different example. I got this one brother over here. He's a man now, but he's working, 18 hours a day. After he gets off of work, he has to go to camp, right? After camp, he has to fix his car and do this and do that. So that young brother will say, how can I manage all of this stress? That brother needs help. Come on.
Similar to myself, I work in healthcare, and I've been in healthcare.
Microphone, no sense. Microphone, let everybody know. Go
I've
ahead.
been in healthcare for 6 years. I work 10 to 12 hour shifts from 4 a.m. to like 4 p.m. And then I, pick the kids up from school, daycare, cook, sleep, do it all over again.
Yeah, that's stressful. You're tired. You understand? You're tired and you're stressed out. You need somebody to help you. Here's the good news. You're a sister in the Israelite school of U.P.K.
Right.
You don't need to watch your children all the time. There are sisters in here that will watch those children for you. Pick them up from school. Go take them to the appointments. You have help, and you're going to need help, or else all of the burden is on you. Now, no one can go work your slavery for you, but what things could other people do for you? You should start thinking about that. Could someone else do this? Could someone else pick up the kids from school sometimes? Could someone else say, well, hell, shit, my kids go to school around there too. Why don't I just grab the kids for you and drop them off to the house? Why don't I just do this? And your camp leader and your husband can discuss who's best to do it, who's the best, most qualified person to be able to handle children. You get some help, you get some sleep, you get some rest. You and your husband go out and have some fun and relax yourselves. Get out and do some recreation, shalom. Recreate yourself properly. That helps, Akkad. Recreation. I'm good at recreation. I recreate the hell out of it. Anyway, You get some recreation. You have some fun. You go see a movie or have some fun. And you don't do this thing for the kids this week, 2 weeks. You don't do this thing. Somebody else can do it. Somebody else handle it. Before you know it, you'll be saying, you know what? I'm good now. I can go pick up the kids. I'm straight. I feel better now. I'm good to go. You just need some help. But if you do it all by yourself, then you'll wear out faster. That's true in anything that's done in life. Everyone understands. You just get some help, sis. Your husband knows how to do it. Your husband knows exactly how we do things around here. Some brothers want to see their wives because they're going to camp all the time. They're never seeing their wife. They're never seeing their kids. You know what we do? We're not having camp this week. Done. Camp is canceled this week. There is no camp. There ain't no operations this weekend. Why? Because we know that you will not ever take off unless we in the camp. So your camp leader is just going to say, there is no camp. Go see your woman. You know what? Go get unclean, everybody. Go get unclean. Make sure you're unclean. I pray you understand. Now everybody gets a break. If you need a break, maybe the rest of the brothers go to camp and you don't, because this brother doesn't work 18 hours. But you're working 18 hours, so you don't come to camp next week. You stay home. You go see your rib, go take care of your kids, look out, go do something with your family. Go do it. We'll help. We'll go to camp for you. You go see your kids and your wife. And then there'll be another week when you'll do it for me. And together, we'll get through the stress of having 5 children working 18 hours. We'll do it together. And that is the key to so many things that stress people out. You're not doing it with anyone. Do it with us. We'll help. We'll pick up the kids from school. We'll go make them food. We'll send pots of food over your house in plastic Tupperware containers so you can eat it all week and you don't have to cook. Someone will do that for you. Your only obligation is to know this. You're obligated to do it for someone else when they're stressed out. Now, as long as we know that, we will get through this together. I pray you understand. All right? That's your answer, sis. Please, next.
Come on, sir. Come. From Officer I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM, YAHUSHUA, and I'm going to break down 1 Timothy 5:8.
No problem. You got it.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith.
This is talking about a very evil kind of brother, because he is not providing for his family, especially when you're in the faith. You better provide for your family, wisdom for your family, knowledge for your wife who needs help, who needs to understand things. You know what's going to happen in your wife's life? Someone is going to die. A cousin, her grandmother, her grandfather, her father, her mother. And here you are, a man of knowledge, and you don't give that knowledge to your wife about death. She needs to learn about it. You have children that are going to go to school and get bullied by people. Everyone goes to school and goes through a bullying situation. Now, you have a son or a daughter, and you don't teach them how to handle bullies. You have to teach your child how to handle bullies, because bullies aren't getting trained because they have terrible parents. A bully's parents are garbage. That bully goes home to a parent who smokes cigarettes, who does drugs. That bully isn't going to learn not to bully. So you have to teach your children how to handle a bully. If you don't provide that, you're an evil person. You got to provide that. You see, here's the problem. When a Christian, your baby mama read this, in her mind, the only thing a man can provide is money. That's it. You see, baby, but you wouldn't have sex with a poor man. That's what I never understand about you sisters. Money, 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 money. Who's your baby daddy? He's homeless and sleeps in a man's couch and lives with his mom. Well, you see, you're confusing me now, because I thought money was important to you, but you keep having sex with brothers who don't have money. maybe money is not as important to you as you express. Because clearly you could just wait for Puff Daddy to get out of jail and have sex with him. You could have sex with rich men. You're a woman. Like women, you could have sex with the president. You could have sex with Lil Wayne, Jay-Z. A woman could, if she's shed her legs, she could have sex with only Fortune 500 vice presidents. Somehow, though, she decides to give it to that brother at the bus stop. Always. And then when he doesn't have money, she goes, I need a man with money. You got to provide for me. No sweat. Wait for Elon to come to town. Close your legs until Elon comes to town. And then you could go be with Elon. But since you decided to give it up to me and we met at the bus stop, then you're probably going to have to get provided with something else. Now, here's the good news. I might not be rich, but I'm rich in knowledge and in wisdom. And that knowledge will make sure we don't go poor. Right. That knowledge will make sure we don't live outside. That knowledge will make sure that the lights stay on and that the kids are provided for with food and clothing, not because I'm rich, but because I have wisdom. And that wisdom can stop poverty. It can't make you Elon Musk. I can't guarantee that. But it can stop homelessness. It can stop starvation. Wisdom. Provide your family with wisdom, with the knowledge. You're in the faith. You have wisdom because you have faith. You're in the faith. You believe. Give that to your wife. Teach your wife the truth. Teach her the scriptures. Teach her about the Bible. Teach her about God. Teach your wife about God. She's going to need it one day. I pray you understand. That's what this precept is about. It's not about money. Every preacher says it's about money. Every woman says it's about money. All of her baby daddies didn't graduate high school and all, don't have jobs. Proximo.
This is from Deandra. The Shalom Lord Christ Adawan. Slide, sir, would you please teach me what the day of preparation is in conjunction to the Sabbath and the correct way to keep it behind the Lord? Behind the what? Behind Slide. I'm reading. That's the Shalom Lord Christ Adawan. Mahayaman, Slide, sir, would you please teach me what the day of preparation is in conjunction to the Sabbath and the correct way?
Is she referring to a precept? I'm going to need that to understand. Please.
I think it's when Christ died, or he rose on the Sabbath. So they were preparing. I'll get it started. They were preparing stuff.
If that's it, I'm familiar with that. If that's what she's referring to, I can't be sure of that. But if she's referring to that, I could assume that if you would like. You die? Should I assume that the day of preparation is speaking about that? Abun?
I have one precept that I believe he or she may be referring to.
Go ahead.
This is John chapter 9. John chapter 19 and verse 42. There laid they Jesus, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day, for the sepulchre was nigh at hand.
Okay, I'm going to assume she's talking about that. Okay? It's all right. Let's assume the preparation is this. They would try to do all their work that they had to do now so that they didn't have to do it on the Sabbath. So they know, they got to do this with the dead body, do this with that, do this work. They try to get it done before the Sabbath day. The best way to understand it is the weekend on your job. If you have a slavery, you're off tomorrow. So because you're off tomorrow, what do you do today? You try to get all of your paperwork in, get all of your work done, get everything done because I'm off tomorrow. That's the preparation for the Sabbath. Just think about it like being off from your job. You don't work tomorrow. So if your job is preparing the dead bodies because you work at a mortuary or you work at a cemetery, you're getting all of your work done. You're doing everything now because you're off tomorrow. That's the preparation for the Sabbath. Gracias. All right. Anything else?
This is from U.K. Rock. Shalom of Christ, sir. Sloppy, if I may, with your grace, can I get a understanding of Matthew 24 and 40? Is this speaking on the same left behind in 2nd Ezra 13 and 24?
All right, go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 40. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken.
His question was what? Again, Yediah?
Kalgan is the same left behind. Is this the same in 2nd Ezra 13 and 24?
That one I don't remember. What does that say in 2nd Ezra 13 and 24?
So God,
It says, now there, 2nd Ezra 13 verse 24. Now therefore, they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
No. This is a whole different left behind. Let me read that a little more, please. That one in 2nd Ezra. Read one verse above it.
Come on, sir. Verse 23, he that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself.
Mm-hmm.
They that be fallen into danger are such as works. But they that have fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
Keep going.
This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
the same as whom God the highest hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creatures, and he shall order them that are left behind.
No, this is different. That's a different left behind, whole different. It's about Jesus Christ, and it's about the coming of Christ, but the left behind there is not talking about that at all. It's talking about that. There is speaking about the left behind are what? Then the dead. Say the last part again for me.
Sir.
The left behind are great or better than the dead. Is that what you said earlier?
No, God says, now
Right.
therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
Right. That's talking, meaning that's why they're blessed. They're not getting killed. They're getting left out of the death. They're getting left behind. The Most High is gathering a group to unalive them. These people are left behind. They're not in the group of people that are going to lose their lives. And then he's going to explain the vision that's coming. That's about the coming of Christ, but the left behind is different there. This is getting left behind from salvation. This one is talking about getting left behind from death. Christ is speaking about getting left behind from salvation. That's what they're getting left out of. Everyone understands. If that was a question, I'll move on. If not, I could read the one in the New Testament if you need to. That's speaking about the coming of Jesus Christ, where two people are in a field, they're working. Two people are on their slaveries working. All of a sudden, one of them has been taken into salvation. The other one is left behind. They're not getting salvation. They're going to die. When Christ returns, the people who are left behind are the dead. They're going to die. The people who are taken are going to live. Everybody get to that prayer. All right. Anything else?
This is from Officer CHAANAYAAHLA. Salaki, sir. Fake Israelites are using Isaiah 11 and 10 to 11 to dispute the 12 tribes chart. May we please get your breakdowns and shut them down for good, for sure. No
problem, CHAANAYAAHLA. Anything that I can do for you, I'd be happy to do. Go ahead and read it, please.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
You got to help me out, fake Israelites. I don't understand how this has anything to do with the 12 tribes chart. CHAANAYAAHLA, you might have to tell me, what are they using? How are they using this to negate the 12 tribes chart? Let me get Yediah first. You got it.
If I could, sir, for the most part, they see Egypt, Pathros, Cush,
Right.
Elam, Shinar, and Hamath, and the islands of the sea.
Right.
And they say, well, you know, And then when they also see Gentiles, they thinking that the heathen are Israelites. Not realizing that the scripture says all throughout the Bible that we will be scattered abroad. And the answer is actually in verse 1.
I would think so, because the Bible for sure says we were scattered in all these places that you just read just now.
Come.
Okay, read 12.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
You diet? Give him a hand. I don't know what, I can't help you. I don't know what to do for you, fake Israelites. You left the truth back in 95. I don't know what else I can do for you. You believe everyone can be saved. Okay. I mean, so does my mother and my uncles, and I don't care. Okay, I don't know what else I could do for you. You believe that everyone can be saved. It's a free country. You have that right. But the Bible does not say that. That's our whole contention. You can believe a thing if you want to. Maybe you're a transgender person. You believe you're a woman. Okay, ma'am. That's fine with me. No problem. But actually, though, you're not a woman. You can believe it. It doesn't affect me or offend me that you think you're a woman. You can be a woman. Why not? That's up to you as a free country. But it's not true according to God. Okay, and that's all we're saying. You don't have to believe in the 12 tribes chart. You don't have to believe that God loves Israel. You don't have to believe that blacks and Hispanics are the chosen people, de Dios. You don't have to believe that. But the Bible does say that we are. Okay, that's all I could do for you, fake Israelites, all right? Anything else? That precept is talking about the scattered, who will be scattered from Egypt, from this, and scattered throughout the islands, throughout the four corners of the earth. We're scattered. You know, we were in Egypt in slavery. We were in slavery in all those places we just described. All of them. We were enslaved there. Ships took us to those places so we could work on sugarcane fields and pick cotton. But those people are the children of God. They're not the natives of that land. They're the children of God who were scattered there. That's all I can do for you, fake Israel. All right, go ahead, please. Was there anything else? Okay. You want to head up now, you saying? Or you want me to come with you?
I mean, you
Let me know.
45.
Okay, solid. Just tell me when. Go ahead.
This is from Michaela Benton. Shalom, sir. By May, how do we know that the scriptures using the word Gentile are for Israel and which are for people who are not Israel?
Context, young brother.
Sister.
Young sister, context. That's all you need. You come to class and we'll teach you context. All right? You would know it if we were just speaking. If we were just talking in regular language, you would know when I'm talking about a black person or a white person or a Chinese person. You would know it, and I would not have to say their race, but you would know it. It's context. Listen, man, I got to go get in my whip and get out of here. No one is confused by that, right? That didn't blow your mind. How about you, young warrior? You're 13 or something, right? Listen, I got to go get my whip and get out of here. What am I about to go do? But I said whip. You sure I'm not talking about an actual whip like you beat someone with? How do you know? Say again? It's a term used for a car. People read the Bible, and the Bible uses terms that are not literal. But people twist the Bible to suit their ability to oppress you and to hurt you. But it's context. You know what I'm talking about. How about this? I'm going to pull out my whip and hit you in the face with it. Am I talking about a car? Right? You see, the context lets you know what a whip is in this conversation. Same word, different context. That's what the Bible does. Now, you can't learn that, from a preacher, but you can learn that from the men, the officers who learn from Commanding General YAHAWAH. Próximo. Anything else, huh? Just let me know.
Right here, I'm reading Stevenson. It's basically just a comment, sir. Says, kind sir, I hear that from other teachings too, and from other people I know saying that we all Salakia will be saved.
I'm giving some money to all of y'all. That's happening. All of the kids are getting money in here. All of the kids are getting money. Ask the brother what do I mean? The same brother who asked the question. All of you are getting money. All of you. All of these children are getting money. Let me make it an exact quote. All of these kids are getting money. All of you kids are getting money. Ask the brother who's getting money. Ask him who am I speaking about. Ask the brother who asked the question. You, the 13-year-old, you already know. I know you know. But let's just make sure someone else knows, because I'm not so sure about the rest of them. All right, so, but I know you weren't going to answer, were you?
No.
Please, what do you want to say?
Oh, no, I was going to answer that question.
Please, go ahead.
It's in Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and 11. Sir.
I do want to know, Barzal, when he answers, though. Tell him to hurry up and answer. I got to leave. Go ahead.
At the end of the verse, it says, contemned small things. I just want to know what that means, sir.
Read a little bit of it.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 1. A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich.
A laboring man, a workman, a working brother. That's a laboring man, a working man. If he is given to drunkenness, he is not going to get rich. He's not going to make any money because he's drunk all day. You see that? That's what that's speaking about, a bun. Go ahead.
And he that contemneth small things.
He that contemneth, contemned with a D?
Contemneth, so with a T.
Contemneth with a T is like contempt.
Okay.
Contempt is like he hates everything. He's angry about everything. He that contemneth all things, go ahead.
And he that contemneth small things.
I'm sorry. He that contemneth small things. Go ahead.
Shall fall by little and little.
Shall fall by little and little. This is a precept, Officer Abun, about being petty. That's this. Petty little people like that trader that left the truth out there in the woods or something. Petty. I mean, something so small. Come on. Brothers and sisters, this is what ruins a lot of marriages too. Because you're petty. Some of you brothers are petty too. You're super petty with your wives. You're mad at your wife because she's a woman almost. I hate my wife. Why? Because she nags so much. God, you mean you got a wife that talks? How do you handle that? What do you do? How do you keep the gun out your mouth? You got a wife that actually doesn't just open. Let me tell you, this is what brothers do. Don't do this, Akim, because I'll laugh at you when we hang up. When I tell my wife to do something, I'm mad at her because she don't just say cunt out of one cunt and do it. You got a wife that when you tell her to do something, she does not just say, yes, sir, cunt out of one cunt, sir, right now, sir. So in essence, you're angry at your wife for not being a man, because that is really what you're saying. Because she is supposed to do what you would do. You get an order from, and they always say this, well, sir, if I get an order from you, I say, cunt out of one cunt and go do it. Well, sometimes. That shit ain't true either. Yeah, come on. Oh, you don't never disobey my orders, God forbid. I give an order, it happens, right? That's not true. That's not true. But let's assume it is true in this fantasy in your mind, right? Do you want your wife to be an officer in the U.P.K? Do you want her to be some, yes, sir, kind of one concern, sandwiches at the ready, sir? Fish sandwiches and potato salad on the table, sir. She's a woman. So she's not going to talk like you. She's not going to say cunt out of one cunt. And she might nag sometimes and argue sometimes and be emotional sometimes. Stop being so effing petty. It's small. You're going to have to look at some things like they're small, or else you can't be with people. You got to be like Rambo Ya'Allah. Go out in the woods by yourself, where it can just be you and some dog. That's some of you brothers. You love that dog. Oh my God. That dog has puppies. That dog is sleeping in the bed with you. I'm sorry. You're gonna sleep in the, what's the thing the dog has the puppies in? You're gonna sleep in the kennel when that dog has puppies because you love that dog. You got to be like Rambo Yala in the woods with a dog who you love more than you love your wife. Why? Because a dog doesn't talk. The dog can't say anything. Sit, heel. You need women to be that. You need a woman to be a effing dog. You can't be around brothers. Why? Because brothers talk. Brothers have opinions. Brothers agree and disagree. You can't be around brothers. Get in the woods with that old dog you love more than you love men and women and anyone, because that dog will obey. People, however, you got to have a little flexibility with them. Be flexible. Be flexible. If you want a family. If you want a family. I pray you understand. Was that it? I got to go now. All right, with that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Mathumya.